Hogwarts Castle, a 5-inch gauge locomotive. It's part 14 and it's time to prepare and paint the first set of wheels. And the first part of the preparation is to use some sandpaper to clean up the JB weld between the spokes and balance weights. On each of the wheels are a set of balance weights like this. These balance weights are not part of the casting. Instead, they are two metal plates riveted together and then filled with lead. The JB weld is only there to make them look more presentable. I'm not looking for a perfect finish on this JB weld because the spokes are far from perfect, but the balance weights should look quite good once they're all painted. And now it's masking tape time, starting with the crank pins. When I first started to paint these wheels, before I had to remove all the paint because it blistered, I actually forgot to mask the crank pins, so this time I'm taking no chances. I'm doing this first, followed by the axle boxes. I want to leave the axle boxes in plain gunmetal. So here we go, quite a lot of masking tape is required to literally wrap the axle boxes in masking tape. Most of these sequences that you're about to see have been shortened because a lot of the time it's my great big hand in the shot. But I'm sure most of the viewers watching this will know how to mask parts for painting. There's nothing difficult here, it's just a bit tedious. I do need to make sure that every part of each axle box is covered in masking tape. And at this stage I'm only a fraction of the way through the job. It took quite a long time. I'm definitely not going to show the masking of the axle boxes in great detail for both of the axle boxes. And sometime later, here they are, both wrapped in the masking tape. Although it's not essential to mask the treads of the wheels, I'm going to do so. But I'm not going to use this wide masking tape for this job. I bought some special, narrower masking tape. Every one of the normal local places that I go to buy masking tape did not stock the narrow stuff. I had to buy this online. It was worth it though, and it's ideal for the job. It was just the right width to mask off the treads of the wheels. And okay, some of the paint may actually get on the flanges, but that really isn't an issue. I want the treads of these wheels to retain the cast iron finish. And once again, the masking part of the job takes quite a long time. But finally, the job is done. I'm overlapping the tape about 1.5 inches before I tear it off. And a quick rotation of the wheel tells me that the masking is okay. You'll be very pleased to know that I'm not going to show the masking and the preparation of every wheel, nor am I going to show the painting of every wheel. You really don't need to see it. And already the time has come to paint the wheel. I'm painting this wheel first of all with Phoenix Precision Paints Grey Single Pack Etch Primer. Sometimes when I paint castings I don't use any primer, but for this job I'm taking no chances. I want the paint to remain stuck to the wheel. But before I start, I have to do this for 2 minutes. Agitate the paint tin so that the balls inside mix the paint together. And then it's painting time. I don't know why it is, but this type of etch primer never seems to spray very well. It just splatters out of the nozzle. But then, by some sort of witchcraft, by the time it dries, it all runs together and gives a very good finish. And I also find the same with the Precision Paints top coat. I don't normally spray this, I put it on with a brush. And as you apply the paint to the parts using a brush, you can see every brush mark. But then something wonderful happens. When you come back later and look at the paint when it's dried, the brush marks have disappeared. This won't apply with these wheels because I'm going to spray paint them. You can see now how useful the jig is that I made to hold the wheels, because I can rotate the wheels and now I can paint the inside edge of the lower wheel only. But I won't be able to paint the inside surface of the other wheel until the paint on this wheel has dried. That is another reason why I'm not going to show the painting process in its entirety. At the Steam workshop, apart from having a lot more room than I have in my workshop, they have a designated painting area. And they have sufficient space to hang the components up so they can spray all over them in one go. But unfortunately, I don't have that luxury. This wheel, for instance, whilst it's been painted, is held in a wooden jig which in turn is clamped in the vise. But as you will doubtless see in the fullness of time, the finish on the wheels will be good. It just takes me a bit longer to do it. I'm rotating the wheel in the jig to make sure to get coverage on all surfaces. And at least there's no black paint left on the wheel to blister and bubble like it did the last time I tried this. Here is a gratuitous shot of the paint drying. And that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.